You've crushed school, your career, maybe even your family life. You know how to set goals, work hard, push through. So why does weight loss feel like the one area where none of that works? When we asked over 1,000 of our clients, smart, driven people just like you, what almost stopped them from working with us, the number one answer was, I felt like I should have been able to lose weight on my own. If you have ever felt the same, that your discipline and intelligence should be enough, here's the truth. The very superpowers that make you successful everywhere else can actually backfire in weight loss. They're like a double-edged sword. Powerful, but dangerous if you swing it the wrong way. There are 5 of them. And once you master them, they stop cutting you and start working for you in weight loss. Think about what made you successful in school. You turned in an assignment, got a few problems wrong at first, so you studied what you missed, prepared more, and eventually got an A. By studying harder and preparing more, you failed less until you could practically guarantee success before the next test. But when you apply that same strategy to weight loss, it backfires. You plan your meals and schedule your workouts. Then a meeting runs late and you skip the workout. Friends invite you out and you don't want to say no. At dinner, you negotiate every bite to stay under your target until the stress stacks up and you say, screw it, I'll start again Monday. Come Monday, you plan to avoid all your prior mistakes. And meetings on time, avoid social eating, and stay disciplined. Then your kid gets sick and you miss another workout. Now you're behind on work, catching up between bites of whatever's nearby. By the end of the day, you're so worn out, you have no will to cook. So you say, screw it again, and order takeout. If I just described your life, hit the like button. Totally normal, because here's the real question. Why does planning to avoid mistakes make you a star student but sabotage you in weight loss? School is what psychologists call a kind learning environment. You can predict the test, study hard, and get a perfect score. But weight loss is a wicked learning environment. It's unpredictable. New situations can throw you off. And if you treat every slip up like a failing grade, soon, I made a mistake becomes I am the mistake. Your brain protects you from that shame the only way it knows how, by quitting early and keeping your world small. But your perfectionism isn't the enemy. It's misdirected excellence. Underneath it is your real superpower, high standards. You don't have to lower them. Suppose a meeting ran late and you missed your workout. Instead of beating yourself up, you see it as data about how tightly you're packing your schedule. Dinner out with friends turned into overeating? Data about decision-making under pressure. Kid got sick and you ordered takeout? Data about stress and energy management. You just shifted where you applied your high standards, from outcomes to learning. It still stings when things go wrong, but now the discomfort means learning, not proof of failure. But then your good student brain asks a new question. How do I use the data to find the right answer? Back in school, every mistake had one clear answer. You got number 7 wrong and learned exactly what to do next time. But in weight loss, this happens instead. Let's say you learned that decision-making under pressure is a weak spot, like overeating in social situations. So you try to come up with the optimal solution. Look up the restaurants and pick your order ahead of time. But what if there's a surprise team lunch? Fine, you'll memorize calorie counts for every type of cuisine and always order the lowest calorie thing. But what if you still feel hungry? Maybe bring a protein bar just in case, but you don't want to look like a weirdo eating that at a restaurant. You hypothesize scenarios, compare plans, research for weeks, looking for the one correct answer. Now, don't get me wrong, wanting to find the right answer isn't bad. It's part of what makes you great at solving problems. But in weight loss, that mindset can backfire. It's like saying you'll only take your car out if you're guaranteed to hit every green light. That's never going to happen. Instead, think like a scientist. Scientists don't wait for certainty before they start. They run experiments to find the answer. So instead of obsessing over the perfect restaurant choice, just order what you normally would and try stopping halfway through to check if you're still hungry. Maybe you notice that the pause works only when everyone else is almost done eating. So next time, you tweak the experiment to eat slower so you're halfway done by the time everyone else finishes. But everyone's situation is different. Comment below with your unique scenario and I'll pick 5 to answer at random. But even when you're following a plan, one comment, one post, one helpful opinion, and suddenly you're questioning everything again. Why does this happen? To answer that, we have to go back to school. For most of your life, society gave you a roadmap. Go to school, get good grades. Pick a major, land a job, climb the ladder. And every step of the way, someone was watching. A parent, a teacher, a boss, a grade, a performance review, always telling you how you were doing. You got really good at spotting what others valued and delivering it. Your ability to respond to feedback is part of what made you so successful. But when you try to lose weight, that same skill turns into a trap. because suddenly nobody agrees on what good looks like. Your friend says, you look amazing if you lost 10 pounds. Instagram says, strong is the new skinny, build muscle. Your mom says, but don't get too muscular, stay curvy. Your coworker says, at your age, focus on hormones and longevity. And the scale says, nothing helpful at all. Each time you see someone else's version of success, you backtrack and chase a new standard. Before long, you're vegan, high protein, intermittent fasting, strength training, and somehow the world still won't shut up about how you're doing it wrong. Nobody's happy, especially you. It's like being back in school, but the teachers keep changing the grading system. So you think you're responding to feedback when in reality, you're chasing a moving target. But your responsiveness is a gift. You just need to reverse where your feedback radar points. Instead of chasing everyone else's reactions, start tuning into your own. To do that, you'll need to strengthen your inner signal until it's louder than the noise from society. And I'll be honest, that's hard. You've spent your whole life being graded, so it's tough to tell what you want versus what's a borrowed want, what psychologists call mimetic desire. So how do you figure out what you actually want? By turning not just your habits, but your whole lifestyle into a series of small experiments. Write down the life you picture yourself having at your goal size. What would you be doing, feeling, and being? Then ask, how can I have this now? Hint, you can have probably all of them now. And then pick one thing you're going to try to include in your lifestyle in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Try it out, and if you love it, keep doing it. If you don't, move on to another thing on your list. Stop waiting to get to your goal and start living now. Action is what moves you away from am I being attractive and fit to am I being the version of me I admire. That's how you turn mimicking into mastery. But even if you're chasing your own version of success, if you're chasing it the same way you do for other goals, you'll end up solving the wrong problem. Remember those 10 p.m. nights before an exam? 2 chapters left, brain fried, but you do the math. If I grind till 2 a.m., I can still review everything. So you crack an energy drink, go full beast mode, and somehow pull it off. Now fast forward to adult life. Same brain, new problem. Weight loss. You overeat on Sunday, so Monday becomes payback day. Skip breakfast, longer workout, only water, no snacks. By Thursday, your willpower is running on fumes. So you drop off thinking, I'll restart fresh Monday. Skip breakfast, longer workout, only water, no snacks. But the harder you push, the more exhausted and slower you get. So why doesn't this happen at school? Because school rewards that kind of tunnel vision. Assignments and tests are one and done problems with clear finish lines. You can ignore the rest of your life, grind, and get an A. But weight loss punishes that same imbalance because the test never ends. You still have to eat, sleep, and deal with stress every single day. You have to make choices whether you're calm, cranky, or one toddler meltdown away from losing it. And when stress is high and recovery is poor, your brain shifts from its rational high IQ mode to its reactive low IQ reptile mode. So instead of relying on your discipline to always show up at your best, use your intelligence to design for your worst. Create 2 plans. 1, a medium day plan. What can you realistically stick to on a normal day once the starting motivation wears off? Usually that's just 2 to 3 simple habits that feel easy enough that you want to do more, but don't. That restraint is what'll keep you consistent. And 2, a worst day plan. What's the smallest, most forgiving action you can take when life hits hard? This is usually a mindfulness habit, like slowing down while you eat, not a results-driven one like cutting calories. But I bet you've tried to pick the right weight loss habits and found them really hard to stay consistent at, and then you beat yourself up for not being able to do something basic. Why does this happen? Think about your whole academic life. From grade 1 to college, you were given a map, a clear sequence that built one skill at a time. You didn't start with calculus in first grade. You started with numbers, then basic math, each level building confidence for the next. And along the way, you had course descriptions, teachers, guidance counselors, helping you decide where to go next. There was always structure. But in weight loss or any life skill that school never taught, none of that exists. You're expected to manage food, exercise, sleep, emotions with the same precision as someone who's been practicing it for years. You open Instagram and it's like walking into a university where everyone's showing off their PhD dissertation while you're still learning the alphabet. When a method works for someone else but not for you, it's usually because they already learned the prerequisite skills. Maybe they grew up where healthy food and mindful eating were normal, so they learned to treat food as fuel and listen to their body. Maybe they grew up where failure wasn't punished, so they could get back up without the guilt spiral. Maybe they grew up where emotions were talked about, so they don't bottle them up or let them take over. Those aren't dieting skills, they're meta skills. Self-trust, resilience under stress, emotional regulation. The invisible muscles that keep you going when any journey gets hard. And they were guided from day one. But most of us weren't, or we lost those instincts through diet culture and social media. So when you copy what someone else does, expecting the same ease, it's like trying to skip from grade 1 to college. You don't fail because you're lazy. You fail because no one guided you on what to learn first. So be your own guidance counselor. Instead of using your strong optimization skills for every subject, pick 1 to 2 subjects and apply it one level at a time. Like if your primary subject is emotional eating, your grade 1 might be simply noticing when you reach for food out of stress. If it's resilience under stress, it might be catching the moment you want to quit and choosing one tiny action instead. And when these small actions start feeling natural, graduate to grade 2. By doing the simple thing and doing just 1% better every day, you're teaching your brain, I can do this. I can trust myself. That's how confidence and skill compound over time into mastery. The goal isn't to stop being the good student. It's to upgrade your superpowers from fixed to adaptable so you can write your own curriculum. But I'm not going to lie, figuring out your own curriculum takes time, often years. So is there a faster way? 2 options. 1, if you want my help shortcutting through all the trial and error, then learn more about my weight loss program in the description and comments below. It's specifically designed for analytical high achievers who want to turn their superpowers into results without the endless guesswork. Or if you want to DIY it, then you don't want to ignore this video where I share the brutal truths about what trips up most people when they try to design their own curriculum. Knowing these upfront can cut your trial and error in half, so you don't want to miss the step-by-step breakdown here. And always remember, you can do it.